Being poor is about more than just having no money. Being poor is more of a habit. Changing one's mindset can change this habit. People are poor for dozens of reasons, and it's rarely because of just one thing. Listen up. Here are 15 most common reasons why you are poor right now. Number 1. You buy things on impulse. Most of us are bombarded with advertisements and commercials that make us want to buy things we don't need. When you purchase something on impulse, you often spend money you don't have to satisfy your immediate desire for something new. Impulse buys are some of the worst spending decisions you can make because they are made with little thought and often don't even need to be bought in the first place. If you're careful, this can lead to good financial habits in the future. Stop buying things on impulse and only purchase the things you truly need. Number 2. You spend most of your time on your phone. If you spend most of your time on your phone, this could be one of the reasons why you could be better. You take out your phone as soon as you start to wake up and check it first thing before you even start to get out of bed. The internet is a beautiful place, but you have to be careful. Your phone is a great way to stay in touch with friends and family, and it's convenient for all those annoying things you have to do, like paying bills and booking flights. But it's also the easiest way to lose track of how much money you're spending. If you're not careful, you could be blowing tons of cash on apps and games without realizing it. Phone addiction is a massive problem in today's world. Constant checking and scrolling can be a way to procrastinate on tasks. It's easy to get caught up in social media or the latest news story. Before you know it, that's all you're doing with your day. When constantly glued to your phone, you're missing out on all kinds of opportunities in the real world. Number 3. You prefer to avoid learning new things. The world is changing faster than ever, and if you don't want to be a part of that change, you'll end up poor. If you're willing to learn, you will stay caught up. Your brain is used to doing things the same way every day, and when someone tries to teach you something new, it feels like a challenge. Challenges make people feel afraid. This fear of new things makes us less likely to take risks and try new things, which can be detrimental when earning money. You must constantly learn and grow as an individual and as a professional. Learning new skills and more about the world can help you find better jobs, make more money, and get more out of your relationships. It means that if you're not willing to invest time into your education and development, then it's likely that you'll always be stuck at the bottom rung of the ladder. Number 4. You have too many debts. Debt is the number one cause of poverty. Getting ahead financially and building wealth can be challenging if you have too many debts. Getting out of debt as soon as possible is essential to have more money available for saving and investing. If you want to get out of debt, start with the smallest debt and work your way up. You want to make sure that you make the minimum payments on all of your monthly obligations, so they do not go into collections or get charged entirely by the bank or creditors. You can also find a way to make extra money while still working at your day job. It will allow you to start paying off your debt faster than if you were only relying on one source of income. Number 5. You easily believe in get-rich-quick schemes. You'll probably be disappointed if you're looking for a shortcut to wealth. It takes work to make money, and you have to work for it. Unfortunately, this is one of the biggest causes of poverty. People who participate in get-rich-quick schemes are easily deceived and lose their money. Never believe any system if they promise that you can become rich overnight. Your temperament makes you most vulnerable to frauds and swindlers who take advantage of your desperation for quick cash flow. Most of the get-rich-quick schemes you come across are just scams. If you can't see through this, you may have difficulty distinguishing between reality and wishful thinking. Number 6. You spend money on bad habits. Bad habits are a common reason for people to be in financial trouble. Many of us realize that certain habits are taking a toll on our finances. What you spend on yourself is the most significant drain on your resources, different from what you spend on things. If you drink alcohol, smoke cigarettes, or gamble excessively, It's time to cut back before your money genuinely becomes scarce. People pay for many things that amount to little more than waste. It may be your addiction to Starbucks or your daily lottery ticket. Whatever it is, it's not helping you reach your financial goals. Bad habits are like low-paying jobs that keep you broke, and it's those habits that make it hard to keep up with your bills and pay off debt. Number 7. You have poor financial decisions. You might not realize it, but your financial decisions are likely what's holding you back. It's not necessarily a matter of having bad credit or not earning enough money. It's more about where you're spending your money and what you're doing with it. Poor people have poor financial decisions because they don't have their priorities straight. Poor financial choices can include paying high interest rates on credit cards, buying expensive things on credit, or needing an emergency fund. Or you could blow all your money on concert tickets or a brand new pair of shoes, instead of saving it for something important like rent or groceries. You need to know what's essential to make the right decisions about how to spend your money, who to pay, and what bills are due. If you don't take control of your finances and make smart choices with your money, there's no way out of the cycle of poverty for you. Number 8. You are spending beyond your means. Spending beyond your means is one of the most common mistakes people make when it comes to money. You think you can afford something, but you can't. Most of the time, this happens because we need to look at our financial situation holistically. We only consider what we can afford, rather than what we should spend. If you spend more than you make, you will be in debt sooner or later. What happens when a car breaks down if you don't have enough money to pay your bills and buy food? Or if there's an emergency? If you're not earning enough to cover your expenses, then it's time to look at the reality of your finances. It may be tempting to think that you can borrow more money to pay for groceries and rent, but this is a slippery slope that can lead to debt and financial hardship if addressed after a period of time. It's better to live within your means than to spend beyond them. Number 9. You buy things on credit cards instead of cash or debit cards. You're poor if you buy things on credit cards instead of with cash or debit cards. Credit cards are like a drug. You get a little high when you use one and then pay the price later. If you're buying things with a credit card, you're creating a debt that will take years to pay off, and the interest rates on those purchases are often incredibly high. So you're paying more than the item is worth in the first place. Credit cards are beneficial for making purchases online, but they can also be a huge source of debt. If you want to get out of debt and stay out of it, start by paying for everything with cash or debit cards. Number 10. You don't create a budget. One of the reasons that you could be better is that you need to create or have a budget. If you're not making a budget, you're spending money without thinking about it. If you're spending money without thinking about it, you must learn how much you have or how much you've finished. It's like trying to drive somewhere with a leaking gas tank. When you're running out of fuel, where will you be? Budgets are not just for the rich, but can be especially helpful to those struggling to make ends meet. Creating a budget is the first step in any financial plan. It's easy and will help keep your finances in order. Use budget tracker apps or just write down all your expenses on a piece of paper and categorize them into different sections. Number 11. You don't have an emergency fund. When you're poor, it's easy to afford many things. You might be unable to afford that new pair of shoes or the latest tech gadget. But there are some things that you should always focus on, and an emergency fund is one of them. When you don't have an emergency fund, you're just one minor financial disaster away from being poor. The fact is, emergencies happen. They can happen at any time. An emergency fund is a stash of money you can use if something happens without having to borrow or turn to family or friends for help. It's meant for emergencies, like your car breaking down or the roof leaking because it rained too hard one day. Emergency funds are also meant for unexpected expenses like medical bills or car repairs. When people don't have an emergency fund, they immediately take out loans or put purchases on their credit cards when they need money. Having no emergency fund can lead to increased debt, making it harder to save money later. Number 12. You are not saving for retirement. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, it's easy to forget about the future. But if you don't start saving for retirement early, those years of not saving will add up quickly and leave you with little security once your working years are over. If you start saving now, it will be easier to save later. That's because every year without putting away money means another year of compound interest and another year of retirement without savings. So, if you want to avoid being poor when you're older, start saving now. Wait to save your whole paycheck. Start with a little bit of money each month and increase it every time you get a raise or get paid. Number 13, you don't have goals and dreams in life. The first step towards prosperity is having the right goals and dreams in your life. If you want to succeed, you need to be able to visualize the future. You can't just say, I want more money and success. These are necessary for any money to change your situation, because your mind will still focus on what you don't have instead of what you do have. You will always be poor if you don't have a dream. You have to have a plan if you want to progress in life. You have to have a goal if you're going to get anywhere at all. And if you don't know what those dreams or goals are, then it's time to sit down, take a deep breath, and figure them out. Nothing comes easy to anyone, so if you want something in your life, you should work hard. Number 14, you have a poverty mindset. You're not poor because you're lazy or stupid or lack ambition or drive. The reason you are poor is because of your mind. When you have a poor mindset, you think like a poor person. You might believe that rich people are more intelligent, talented, or just luckier than you. You think you can't get rich. Being poor is a choice, and you choose to be one. You prefer living with little money rather than taking a risk and trying to become rich. Your mindset is how you interpret the world, and it's more important than you probably realize. If your brain is set to, I'm going to fail, that's what will happen. But if you think of yourself as a successful person capable of doing anything, you'll do it. Your thoughts don't just affect your behaviors, they can also affect your actions. Number 15, you don't have financial plans. If you're poor, you might think it's because you can't make ends meet. But did you know that it could be because of a lack of financial planning? You can't just hope things will work out for you and expect to become wealthy or debt-free. You need a financial plan to know how much money is coming in or going out. Even if you make a lot of money, it will only last for a while if appropriately managed. It would be best if you made a plan for your money. What do you want to do with it? How much do you want to save? What kind of investments should you make? These are all critical questions that need answers to be successful with your finances. It's so easy to blame others for your struggles. It's even easier to forget that the primary reason we are poor is because of our way of thinking about our finances. It would be best if you take responsibility for your finances. You're responsible for your actions and have 100% control over how much money you spend every time. However, many people are in denial about their financial situation, such as their inability to save money regularly or their lack of desire to set up a safety net for the future. Share your story in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, you will surely love the next one. Like and subscribe to this channel. Click this fantastic video over here.